up, fams? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. And today what we're quickly doing, I'm gonna keep it a spoiler-free review of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I finally got a chance to watch it around 2 weeks ago. Finally, I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, but hey, I finally get to see it on Netflix. And I want to do a quick spoiler-free review. My bad, folks, because I still, for people who watch me review, I really do want you guys to check this out without me spoiling nothing. So I'll do my best to not spoil much. So coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Alright guys, quiet on set. Scene 1, take 1. Action. Boom! Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share it with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications because, well, it does help a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly appreciate it if you guys do hit that subscribe button because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, folks, so let's make that happen, folks. Frankenstein, or as I like to call it, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, is of course written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it stars Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, and Jacob Elordi. I hope I said his name right. Yep, Jacob Elordi, thank goodness. I had to look up his last name just in case. And he plays a creature this time, and of course we got Christoph Waltz, and we have many other characters here in this movie, and well, of course, this is another brand new 2025, a new century, whatever, a new adaptation of Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's Frankenstein, or Frankenstein the Modern Prometheus. So yeah, Frankenstein is my favorite book of all time. So hey, look, as a Frankenstein expert myself, I'm kidding. I'm freaking kidding, guys. Hey, look, it's my favorite book of all time. So yeah, guys. So we're gonna talk about the plot here. So basically, it's basically an adaptation of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's take on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. More like you see it as a tragic tale more often than more like a horror tragic or like this huge whole thing about playing God. But then again, that still plays a role in that. But then again, it's a bit more subdued, and I'll get to that in a few moments here. So if you guys know the story of Frankenstein, well, Victor Frankenstein, played by Oscar Isaac, creates this creature as well. The creature, well, actually he has a name. But then again, yes, around the Frankenstein fandom, that yeah, we call him Adam Frankenstein because he in a way goes by the name of Adam Frankenstein. So yeah, he creates his creature, and instead of being afraid of him, he's just disgusted by him, and of course he abuses him mostly verbally and verbally and physically, sorry guys. And you know, Elizabeth comes in the picture, who is actually like she's the fiance of his brother William, and so he tries to fall in love with her, but she's not really that interested in all that stuff in him. She's actually more interested in the creature. But then again, yeah, he breaks away and he leaves, and yeah, this movie's structured into like Captain Walton, and then you see it's like that, that's the prologue, and Act 1, like Chapter 1 is from Victor's point of view, and Chapter 2, Act 2, basically that's from the creature's point of view. So yeah, guys, that is basically the plot synopsis of the film, and also it plays pretty much, if you know the story of Frankenstein, it plays similarly like that, but in a more tragic way. So that is my plot synopsis of the film. Now let's get on to the review. Oh my god, guys, so where do I begin? Well, first things first, I gotta say, guys, Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors of all time, a big role model of mine, and when I heard he was gonna do Frankenstein, I was like, oh yeah. And I've been following a bit of the production, how he's making it more like a tragic story more than horror, from what I've seen. And yeah, basically, yeah, it's just basically what it is. It's is exactly what I thought it was. And you know what? That's a great thing, though. That's a great thing. It's not perfect in some areas. I gotta say, I'm gonna get my criticisms out the way right now. There are some moments where, like, I feel like there's some moments where the movie has like some pacing issues, mainly around like near the end of the second act before we get to the creature's point of view. But other than that, like actually around the first act too, there are moments where it's just like, all right, we don't need this scene, we can cut it, you know, and then move on. But then again, other than that, folks, I think this movie is amazing. This movie is freaking phenomenal, guys. So yeah, I follow a bit of the production, especially when I heard that Guillermo's attached to this and he wrote and directed this, and I got excited. In my opinion, guys, it's basically to my expectations, but in the best way possible. I sound like a broken record, but hey, we're just gonna get right on to it. The special CGI effects, I know there's minimal of that stuff here, but they look amazing here. They look damn good, blending with the amazing practical and set piece designs. It is just amazing. Practical set designs and the set piece they built, it is beautiful as hell. The university, the mansions, and just like the blind man's like cabin, the family in the cabin in the woods. That's really freaking cool there. I really love that a lot. And speaking about the practical effects, the gore effects are phenomenal, especially a lot of the the moments where Frankenstein is showing an experiment example of, you know, bringing somebody back from the dead, and you see like this cool effect, and it's so cool. It is really cool. I really love that so much. And even the CGI is cool. There's the scene with the wolves and all that stuff, and they look pretty freaking good. They look a little shoddy in some areas, but then again, I mean, come on, it is CGI. They're gonna look off, kind of like with some bad practical effects, but then again, all the practical effects here are freaking good here. And yeah, also the gore effects are nice. This movie is rated R. And you see a lot of gore effects here, especially some gunshot wounds. There's a scene where the creature, Adam Frankenstein, gets shot in the neck, and he's just spurting blood, and it looks so real and so gooey looking. It's so grotesque. It's freaking awesome. And especially the beginning, you see the amazing practical and CGI effects, and the action scenes really play out here in the beginning when the creature's attacking Captain Walton's crew, and that is really freaking cool, guys. That is really cool. A great way to bring you into the film. But then again, that's Guillermo. That's amazing. And I just love the aspect ratio. I think it's 1.85 or 1.90 by 1. Or 2.11 by 1. He likes to fill up the screen as much as he can, but also give this cinematic look. I just love the way he directs and frames this. Guillermo del Toro, he just knows how to direct actors and direct the frame. I say almost every single frame of this film looks like a goddamn beautiful, gorgeous painting. And come on, this Guillermo del Toro. I freaking love that. I love the cinematography and all that stuff. And going back to the gore effects, the practical effects, the makeup effects on Jacob Elordi as the creature, he looks amazing. He looks just amazing. That's all I gotta say. And speaking of Jacob Elordi, I'm gonna talk about the cast right now. Oscar Isaac, I love him as Victor Frankenstein. So I heard, I know Double Toasted complained about him being a bit over dramatic, but then again, if you actually read the book, he is very over dramatic in the book, and I say Guillermo pretty much captured that right here. But also, you also hate Victor here, because instead of feeling bad for Victor, but also you're mad at Victor before creating something like that, and all that stuff, here you hate him. But then again, that's intentional, because here's the thing: instead of being horrified, he's just disgusted by his creature of oh, you only say my name, you don't say anything else, you're not smart enough, you're pretty stupid. Yeah, he knows he's strong and he heals, he has superpowers, but he abuses him like he's his own child and all that stuff like that. And that's just, oh my God. And also, what I've heard that Guillermo del Toro, this is based, I've heard that he went through child abuse, or apparently his father abused him as a child, and it's kind of him coming to terms with himself and all that stuff. And yeah, if that is true, that is I think that is true. I'm not sure, but if that is true though, it shows right here, because the theme of this film is about abuse. But I'm gonna get back to that when I'm done talking about the cast here. But then again, Oscar Isaac brings this amazing performance. He is not bland. He is amazing. He steals the scenes. It is amazing. Mia Goth as Elizabeth. I love her so much here. I love her. In Elizabeth, in the original novel, she doesn't have much to do. Here she has a lot to do, and I'm not going to spoil much from the ending, but her story arc, it still is pretty freaking sad, and I really enjoy her as Elizabeth. Christoph Waltz, he is amazing. I love him so much here. Everybody else is pretty damn cool, and the guy that plays William, he is phenomenal here. But Jacob Elordi as the creature, Adam Frankenstein, I love him. I love him so much. You cry for him. There are moments where I cried for him, because instead of in the book where he's terrifying, but you feel bad for him, but also you cannot justify his actions for what he's done. Here, especially by killing William by crushing a little boy's neck and all that stuff. Here, you actually feel bad for him. You really feel bad for him. He's basically an abused victim. He's an abused child, and he's trying to find himself. He's trying to find out who he is, where he comes from, and you really feel bad for him. Once the chapter of the creature's point of view comes in, this movie just elevates it to a whole new level. And the meaning behind this movie, and again, I'll get to that in a few moments, and I really do like this meaning of it. I love that this movie, it just shows this tragic creature. Now, I'm not going to give away the ending, but I gotta say, you're gonna be happy for the creature. I just love Jacob Elordi. I think he's one of my favorite adaptations of the creature. So finally going to the message. One of the things that I love about this movie is about message. The message is that it still has the original message about don't play God, don't be don't try to claim that you can do all this stuff here. That's gonna bite you in the ass. Mainly greed. But also, this movie goes back to about abuse, just domestic abuse in general, just abuse by people. And can you seek forgiveness out of that? And I love that so much about it. That is the main theme that Guillermo was talking about here. And I gotta say, I love it. It really elevated this movie a lot. This movie really went from like, okay, this is pretty a nice, you know, there are some changes here and there from the novel, of course. But then again, and you could see inspiration from the Universal and past adaptations. But it went from this a nice, you know, hey, this is a pretty nice adaptation to like, wow, this is pretty elevating, and this is something fresh and new. As a fan of the book myself, this is a nice, fresh and new here. And this is probably like, I don't know, my second or third favorite adaptation of the novel, in my opinion. It's really cool. Junji Ito is one of my favorites of all time, and I mean, you can't really beat the Universal Monster one, the original classic, but then again, I kind of beg to differ a bit with that. But all I gotta say, guys, overall, this movie, it is just phenomenal. It has great characters, great special effects, a great story, a great adaptation of the story, great performances, and guys, this is just amazing. Even though I have my issues with the pacing a bit here, I love this film, and hopefully Criterion puts out a 4K release. I know there's gonna be a physical media release coming out, but I know that hopefully Criterion is someone is putting it out. So guys, with that, I would give Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein a solid 4 out of 5 stars, if I were to give a rating for that. So guys, that was my review for Frankenstein. Let me know down in the comment section down below. And so this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and I hope you guys, enjoyed the show. And that's a wrap.